Assalamualaikum students, I am Shakeel Ahmad. Today we are going to finish our topic Zulfiqar Bhutto's reforms. In the previous topic we had studied about industrial, agricultural and education reforms of Bhutto. Now we will discuss the remaining reforms as well as the reasons for the downfall of Bhutto. So, uh, health and social reforms. By the time Pakistan had very poor health care facilities and it had one of the highest infant mortality rate in the world. Furthermore, life expectancy was also very low, and in August 1972, Bhutto launched a health scheme designed by his team. In this regard, the central plank of the reforms was the introduction of rural health centers as well as the basic health units. So the plan was to set up one rural health center for every 60,000 people and one basic health unit for every 20,000 people. Furthermore, training colleges for doctors and nurses were expected to admit students on merit. So the doctors had to work the first year wherever the government placed them. So that instead of working only in the big cities, they could be assigned a post in any small town or village. The sale of medicines under brand names was also banned by Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's government. The practice common in the West allows drug companies to sell new medicines under a patent name and stop other companies manufacturing the drug under its medical name. So this measure reduced the cost of medicines dramatically, and medicines were made available without prescription. They could be bought at any pharmacy or medical store. The health reforms did improve medical services as well, but there was always a shortage of doctors and nurses. The removal of brand names from medicines also saw a fall in the income of chemists, and many international pharmaceutical companies closed down their operations and business in Pakistan. Now it's the turn of administrative reforms. Bhutto wanted a modern and efficient civil service. He felt that civil service of Pakistan was corrupt, inefficient, and full of unnecessary rules and laws as well. He reorganized the civil service into a smaller number of levels and unified pay scales. This removed some of the old unnecessary distinction between types of civil servant. He also reformed entry requirements so that people could join at any level, even the more senior ones, without having to work their way up. Further, he said that it would enable the CSP to recruit high quality staff, but at the end, uh, his opponents complained that all he was doing was setting up a system of patronage where he could reward his own followers with posts in civil service. Now we will discuss the elections of 1977. Bhutto called a general election. He was so confident that his government and his record and the lack of effective opposition would result in an easy People's Party victory. However, once the election was called, nine of the opposition political parties combined together uh, to form an alliance called Pakistan National Alliance, known as PNA. There were two issues behind the unity of the opposition political parties. First, they all wanted to end the rule of Bhutto and People's Party, and they were united in their desire to rule Pakistan according to the Islamic laws. The Pakistan National Alliance began to attract big audiences at its election rallies and was clearly gaining support. The government introduced a law limiting public gathering uh, just to five people, and this was to stop uh, public demonstrations of support for the Pakistan National Alliance. The results of the elections showed a landslide victory for the Pakistan People's Party, and People's Party had won 154 seats out of 200. Instead, Pakistan National Alliance had won only 38 seats. So, Pakistan National Alliance accused the government of rigging the results and demanded new elections. However, there was little doubt that the election result was correct in showing that the majority of people in Pakistan supported the Pakistan People's Party. Uh, some historians and the political experts believe that such vote rigging was a serious error at that time because the Pakistan People's Party was likely to have won the election without it, and it was totally unnecessary. So now we will discuss the reasons of the downfall or the steps to downfall of Zulfiqar Bhutto. Bhutto refused to agree to fresh elections, and Pakistan National Alliance organized mass protests against the government. Soon there was rioting in many towns and cities, and Bhutto had ordered federal security force to control the situation, but it remained totally unsuccessful. Bhutto was forced to negotiate with the opposition alliance. He offered some concessions to the opposition alliance, just like fresh elections in some of the disputed constituencies, and to appease the religious factions. He banned gambling, restricted the sale of alcohol, and declared Friday to be the weekly holiday. However, at the same time, he turned to the army for help, and on 19th April, he declared a state of emergency, placing Pakistan under martial law. The opposition alliance leadership were being arrested, and by the beginning of June, some 10,000 of the supporters of Pakistan National Alliance were imprisoned. So, bringing the army into politics, it was thought that it was a dangerous game, as Bhutto found to his uh, cost. The army leaders saw the concession given by Bhutto to the opposition was making as a sign of weakness, which would lead to even a greater unrest in future. So on 5th July, the armed forces staged a coup named Operation Fair Play, and Bhutto and all other major political leaders were arrested overnight. 2 days later, the Chief of Army Staff General Muhammad Ziaul Haq announced the suspension of constitution. Furthermore, he dissolved all the four provincial assemblies as well as the National Assembly, and in that way, Pakistan went under another martial law again.